Okay, there we go. I'm all set up and ready to go finally. So I got my two older balls drilled here, and I'm just going to get them out on lanes, throw a few shots. It's kind of an impromptu practice session. I was planning to practice later tonight, but I forgot my older daughter has a basketball game that I got to go to, so I won't have time for that. So we're out here a little bit earlier in the day. So again, I'm going to kind of build off of yesterday's practice, where I pretty much determined that eliminating my push away made me much more consistent with my approach. My accuracy was better, along with quite a few other things. So what we're going to work on today actually is my spine tilt. And actually this is why it's a good idea for you guys to take recordings of yourselves if you're serious about getting better. It's because you'll see things in the recordings that you won't even know you're doing otherwise. And yesterday I was noticing that my spine tilt wasn't quite as low as it should have been. And I think that was causing me a lot of problems with my accuracy of getting the ball to the right like I needed to. So today we're going to work on increasing my spine tilt a little bit. I want to be closer to that 45-degree range, or 40 degrees at least, of not only forward but also side or lateral tilt. And that's going to help me open my hips and project the ball to the right like I want to. So to get started, we're going to do what we did yesterday. Throw a few shots, nice and easy, nothing too drastic. Start with one-steppers. That first spare shot, or that first one-step shot, is always a real telltale of what the lanes are doing. I didn't really rotate that ball hardly at all, and that's my urethane spare ball, and it hooked a ton. Now, granted, it wasn't going very fast, but still, if that ball is hooking, the lanes are a little dry. Just working on getting loosened up right now. The other thing I noticed yesterday is that right there, which you hopefully just saw the difference on that shot versus my last two, is my knee bend wasn't as low as it could have been yesterday, and my trail leg kept coming up off the approach on a lot of my shots, which does not help your stability at all. That probably is one of the major reasons why I was having balance issues at the foul line. All right, we'll move on to 3 steps. I'm just hoping that those finger grips hold. My ring finger grips didn't glue down necessarily like I would like them to, so I got one end of the grip done. The other end seems to be a little temperamental. All right, back up to our 3-step spot. Now, in these warm-up drills, I'm working on bending my slide knee, keeping my trail leg on the ground, my toe especially, and also increasing my lateral and forward spine tilt. Because those are things on video yesterday that I noticed I wasn't doing very effectively, so I obviously need to put in some work on those particular items. And I think those grips finally decided to stick. Seems like the glue just took a little bit longer than normal to set up. And if you're wondering, the lower you get at the foul line with your knee bend and the more your trail leg stays on the ground, the more stable you are in your finish. And the increased spine tilt helps you when you need to project the ball to the right, which of course helps your accuracy. Oh, it was almost a perfect spare. All right, we're starting to get warmed up now. The heart rate's coming up into the 120s. A couple more shots here, and then we're going to get the Hero and the Joker Solid out onto the lanes for a bit of fun. That's the same spare I just left previous frame. It's okay, I'll pick it up this time. Or not. Oh, I did the same thing I did last time. I left the 5-pin. See, normally you'd hook at that spare, so oh well. One more shot with the 3-step. And then we're going to start doing full approaches here. That one felt really good. Okay, so we're going to start with the Joker Solid. I was saying earlier when I went live as I was drilling this, so this is the original Swag Joker Solid. This is actually a repour of the Joker Solid that we did a couple of months ago, or actually it was like 6 months ago, something like that. I didn't have a chance to get one when it came out again, so I picked one up from one of our supervisors who had a few left in stock still. And yeah, we're going to throw this ball again. Great ball, same core as all the other Joker balls, different cover stock. As far as where it fits in my bag, it would be earlier than my Fantasy Days. It's a lot stronger, so it would fit below the Fantasy Days. So yeah, we're just going to start quite a bit left. I haven't done anything to the surface because I'm short on time today. A little bit of ball dust came out of the finger holes. I must not have vacuumed them out good enough. But you should be able to see just how quickly that ball picks up a roll, which is one of the main reasons I really, really love this Joker ball. It is going to fit really well in my arsenal. All right. Looking 16 here. Standing 30. Not a lot of oil out there. This is Sunday's burnt up house shot. It's funny, actually there's flare rings on the ball, but it's not oil, it's all dry flare. Oh, I love that Joker. It looks so cool going down the lane. Obviously, it's a ball for oil. You need to find some oil for it to actually perform really well, and currently, there's no oil out there. All right, let's move way inside, see if I can find some oil here. Moving all the way to 40. Looking 18, 19 here. Pretty decent. May have found a little bit of oil that time. I saw a little bit of oil right after the arrows come on the ball there as it was rolling. So see what the ball shows me here. Oh yeah, there's a little bit of oil on it. Not much. See if we can get some length by changing my release and come around it a little bit. Same target as previously. That's better. Getting around that ball increases its skid length, so that helped it shape. Good old Joker Solid, man. This was one of my favorite balls back in the day. Try and be a little bit more accurate this time. That was 17 at the arrows, if you're wondering. Oh no, it slipped out of my hand. I got ball dust all over my hands. I'm actually going to break out the ball cleaner here. There's quite a bit of ball dust still on the ball itself, and so that's getting all over my hands every shot that I throw, which contributes to not being able to grip it. Now, if you're wondering, this Joker Solid comes out of box at 2,000 grit. For at least about 30 seconds. Allow that ball cleaner to do its job. In the meantime, let's get the Incredible Hero out on the lanes. I moved a little bit to the right because I'm familiar with this ball. I know it's a little bit cleaner. So we're going to go 30 and looking about 16, 17 here. Good shot. Oh yeah, there's that Incredible Hero. So one of the things that I really like about that Incredible Hero ball is just how smooth throughout the entire lane it is as far as its ball reaction. Okay. Got all the ball dust off of this one finally. Let's get it back out there. That's better. Yeah, there it is. Got around it enough to get it to actually skid down the lane that time. All right. Really focus in on my tilt of my spine and making sure I'm staying low at the foul line after I release the shot here. Keep my slide knee bent into the foul line. I tugged it, but it felt better coming out of my hand. I was nice and low, good knee bend, good amount of spine tilt. And see, that time I felt the lift on my middle finger, which when you're trying to come around the ball as a two-hander, that's where you should feel it, is on your middle finger. Oh, it slipped off my hand again because of the stupid ball dust. I need to get those finger holes cleaned out better. That's why I like that Incredible Hero. So with how burnt up the lanes are right now, and that being an asymmetric pearl with a sanded surface, see how smooth that is? That's just amazing. I mean, had I hit like 8 at the break point instead of 10 like I did that time, no doubt I would have hit the pocket strong. And that was a pretty big jump to the right for me. Tugged it. You can see just how much different they're playing from each other. So there's no way that the Joker would stay there. It would hook way too early, cross over the head pin if I tried to throw it in that spot. That's better. And you can just see it. It is so much earlier. In fact, what I'm really excited about is tomorrow night in League. I think I'm going to break out that Joker at a fresh True Cut 2000, of course. See how well it does when it comes to controlling that early friction. Ooh, I love that Incredible Hero. I can't stress that enough. All right, we're gonna shelve the Joker. There's just not enough oil out there. And we are going to adjust a little bit with the Hero. I'm gonna go 2-in-1 left, base spun. Oh boy, I was early. So if you're wondering, I moved the ball too early, which forced me to pull at it when I slid into the foul line. But again, you can see that Incredible Hero reaction is just so smooth that it didn't really penalize me that much. It held its line, and when it hit the break point, it wasn't really snappy. And I got a Brooklyn because of it. That's a little better. We actually got it to the right that time, got it out to 5.6 at the break point where I know the dry is at the end of the pattern. And it crossed over again. Tracking really good. All right, let's go 2-in-1 again. So 34 and we'll say 18, 17, 18. Oh boy, get it. A little forward. I was off balance again. Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it. I'm glad to hear that it's helped you out so much. That was my original goal with starting this YouTube channel, was to help out as many people as I could, especially bowlers who aren't necessarily in the same state as me. All right, see if we can't get our balance this time. Bend the knee, keep that trail leg on the ground. That's better. Oh, that's an odd leave on that hit. It was a little nosy. I don't think it was 4-7-10 nosy though. All right, 2-in-1 again. So 36. Definitely going to hit 18 this time. Keep your balance. Or just come up out of it. Gosh, that's my biggest issue right now. Staying low and staying in the shot, letting my body continue. As you can see, so I got there at the foul line, and instead of keeping my knee bend and keeping my body low, I came up out of it. And that contributes to that tug. Need to not do that. Only got a few more minutes of practice left here before I got to get back to work. So that was better as far as balance, staying nice and low into the shot. I'm still struggling with that spine tilt angle. Like I said before, getting that spine tilt increased really helps you get the ball projected out. My biggest issue is when I move left and start trying to throw right, I have a tendency to not be able to get it to the right far enough. And from what I've researched, that's because my spine tilt angle is not proper for my release. Yeah, see, again, so I was 18, but tugged it, and it went down to 10 instead of where I needed to get it, which was, you know, that 6-7, 5-6-7 area down there. All right, make sure my shoulders are lined up too here. That's better. That's what I'm after right there. So I need to take a clip of that shot and try to repeat it. I think what helped on that one, making sure my shoulders were lined up properly in the swing, on top of increasing my tilt, allowed me to get that ball out there. And this is why I love the Incredible Hero. You saw the shape it made right there with the lanes being so dry. I love this ball. Bringing back some memories from the old days. That's better. Again. Oh, mean 10 pin. 2 good shots though. See if we can replicate it a third time. Oh no, I tugged my right shoulder down and across. Instead of doing what I know I need to do, which is just allow that shoulder to follow the ball, stay back, and just get through it. Luckily, it ended up in a Brooklyn spare. There we go. There's that Incredible Hero. You know, considering I didn't pick up any of my spares that game, now 171 isn't terrible. That would have been over 200 actually had I shot my spares. Especially with the lanes being so dry right now. Really try to focus on the shoulder alignment and the tilt. Go ball. Hey, trip a 4.9. Why not? Oh, that's right. We're supposed to slap that out. Hey, how you doing, Matt Live? Thanks for joining the live here. Let's get a little bit of impromptu practice in the middle of the day. Oh, there we go. Come on, ball. Yes. Now, I have yet to touch that cover stock, by the way, with the pad. So it's out of box fresh, and which is, if I remember correctly, the Incredible Hero was 3,000 grit. It's been a while since I've looked at the ball stats on it, but I am so excited to have that Hero back in my bag. All right, a few more shots with the Joker here, and then we're going to call it for the day. I know you're like, I've started with a double. Why would I switch balls? because I haven't thrown these balls in a while. Still trying to get used to how they react. Some older gems from the swag line. Oh, I dropped that one. That was a terrible throw. Hey, but I got the 10 pin. So, interesting. I think my feet were just a little quick that time. I ended up dropping the ball behind me. It's all right, this is an easy spare, right? Just got to get it to the pocket. See, I remember that when this Joker came out originally, the surface on that ball is so rough that it really is tough for me to hang on to it with my hands. And I thought it was the ball dust earlier, so I gave it a good cleaning with my ball cleaner. But it's a very slippery cover, or it seems like it whenever you've got surface on the ball. Put some warm air in my grip here. Hopefully it helps me hold on to the ball. That's better. There we go. Makes a big difference when you can actually grip the ball properly in your hands. You know, I do have a bowling grip glove, which I sometimes use, especially when I'm throwing balls with a lot of surface. Do I have it with me? I should. It's got to be somewhere in here. Aha, I do. Now, I only use this grip glove when I'm throwing urethane with a lot of surface or a reactive ball with a lot of surface because it's incredibly difficult for me to hang on to a ball without it. And from what I understand from some other two-handers, they have the exact same issue. Makes a lot of sense. You know, we don't have our thumb in the ball, so when you got a ball with surface, it becomes quite slippery. Oh, that's so much better. Look at that. Big difference. Now, if you're worried about the way that ball's deflecting, just keep in mind there's not a lot of oil out there right now. That's a really strong symmetric solid, so it's hooking really early and just, you know, rolling out basically. I did find a little bit of oil earlier, and I was able to get it to go down the lane a little bit with a bit of skid, but that oil has since disappeared. So let's add a little bit of loft, how about? Same spot as before. We're just going to get the ball down the lane, hopefully. Like that. It helped it shape a little bit, but again, rough surface ball, so it's going to get to that break point and be smooth no matter what. Now we could square up. That's always an option. Try and get some speed on it. Move a whole zone, maybe even two to the right. Make sure I'm getting around the ball so it actually skids, and make sure we throw it as fast as we can here to get it to go down the lane. Kind of like that. But see, it didn't matter. So, but there's the reaction that that Joker gives you, especially on the fresh. Really nice and strong in the front, reads the mid lane really well. And when it finds that break point, it just goes. And it continues really hard. Let's try that same shot one more time. Except this time, instead of getting around it, I'm going to stay more behind it. And hopefully it'll go through the pins instead of deflecting. Oops, too straight. Maybe if I was standing about 15 boards to the right, that would have worked. Try it one more time. $25, 11, 12. Staying behind it this time with speed. That's better. See, that was a really good shot. I was behind it, very forward, got to the break point and just continued so strong right across the head pin. So again, a Joker Solid, great ball, heavy oil ball. And what I'm most excited about is to get this out on a PBA regional next time I go to a regional, because don't get me wrong, the Fantasy Days is a great symmetric solid, but I think it's just a tad too late, which makes that break point, pretty sharp. Even with surface, it still plays very sharp at the break point. So I'm glad to have this Joker back in my bag. It's going to be underneath my Fantasy Days in my benchmark bag. So it'll be it'll be Joker, Fantasy Days, Joker Maniac, my 1, 2, 3 basically benchmark balls. And then after that, we've got my Show Off and my Geek, and that is basically my symmetrical arsenal, if you will. And then the Incredible Hero, I hate to say it, but I think that Incredible Hero might take the place of my KO. I've got my late transition Black Pearl Treasure. I love it for later transition. I now have the original Big Bro Jacked back in my bag, and that ball is going to be a great, strong, asymmetric benchmark solid. And I think this ball is going to take the place of that KO, and that KO was sitting basically right after my Jacked and before my Treasure. So the only other question is that new Big Bro Big Guns about whether or not I would actually take that ball with me at a regional or a tournament. With it being a short pin, I would more than likely take it as one of those balls that's going to give me just a completely different look than anything else I have. So that would give me 4 asymmetric balls, and if I try to keep my KO with me, that would give me 5. Problem is usually when I go to a regional, I fly. So I don't want to be taking 3 3-ball totes with me. I usually try and keep it cut down to a 6-ball arsenal if I can help it. Maximum of 8, because baggage fees are not cheap. So if it came down to it, I would definitely choose the Incredible Hero over the KO, I think. All right, let's finish out this game, and then we're going to call it for the day. We've got 4 more frames to go. We're in the 7th frame. See if we can finish out a really good game here. Keep the glove on, because why not? Sit. Oh, decent shot. Go ahead and pick up the spare. All right, shoot for the 6-pin. Give the spare ball a tad bit of rotation. Oh boy, I sent it way too far. Yep, I figured there'd be enough friction that ball would actually face up. I guess I was wrong. Go. Oh, no. Of course, I said it, right? Let's finish out this game strong, right? And look what we're doing. Open frame on an easy spare, and then we leave big 4 on the next shot, which honestly, it was a great shot off my hand. It felt good. See if we can get lucky here. There is friction, so the spare ball is going to move. Move too much. Just trying to get it to the right side of that 6-pin. Didn't quite get it there. 2 and 1 left. That's good. Go, baby. Oh, flat 10. Combination of not enough oil and a pretty decently strong asymmetric ball in my hand. Tell you what, best time to practice your spares is when the lanes are really dry like this, because it really forces you to be accurate and as up the back of your spare ball as you possibly can. It's a good way to get good at forward roll on a spare shot. Because I'll let you know for sure it's going to matter if you ever find yourself bowling on a short oil pattern. When there's 30 feet of dry to get through. Got it there a little early. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. The buzzer beater. You know, I do have it in my bag. The buzzer beater for me is kind of one of those balls that I'm still kind of trying to figure out exactly where it's going to fit in my ball bag, because it's a higher RG ball with a lower differential, and the cover on that ball is exceptionally clean. So what I'm kind of finding out is that ball for me plays better on higher friction environments than anything, which unfortunately makes it more situational. I have tried it out here at Town and Country on the house shot on fresh, and because it's higher RG and lower differential, that makes the break point a lot sharper, and it just doesn't do well in that environment. So I did try it with a little bit of surface, so you know, I could maybe tame that break point down a little bit. But then what I was noticing is, even though I would get it to the pocket, it wouldn't go through the pocket and carry strikes. So I'm thinking that ball in particular is going to be good for me anyway on higher friction shots, shorter conditions, where I can keep it at its out-of-box surface. It'll get clean through the front and allow me to play a more open angle. So like maybe if I'm bowling on something like a 34, 35, 36 foot, or maybe even shorter oil pattern, I should be able to use that ball to move left, throw to the right, and trust that it's going to get clean enough through the front to not slow down too much and come off that end of the pattern sharp enough to get through the pins. So I haven't been able to try it in that environment yet, but because I'm noticing that about that ball, it's a very situational type of reaction for me. So unless I know for sure I'm going to be bowling on something short, I probably won't take it with me, which is unfortunate because, you know, I was really liking that ball when it first came out, and once I got it on a fresh house shot and several different sport shots so far, it just seems like it's better on the transition. You know, when I cashed in Great Falls a couple weeks back at my tournament there, I think I threw that buzzer beater like maybe 5 frames in total out of the entire weekend, and that's simply because every time I threw it, I just didn't like the look it was giving me. So anyway, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Hey, that's awesome. I'm actually glad to see somebody on the channel who's local. You'll have to introduce yourself tomorrow night at League, and that way I can put a face to the name on YouTube. And I mean, you got to keep in mind about asymmetric balls. You know, the biggest thing is with asymmetric balls is they're strong, right? The engine inside the ball is so much stronger than something that's in a symmetrical chord ball. So a lot of times you're finding yourself having to use that asymmetric ball on a condition that's got more volume on it. But for some reason, for me as a two-hander, I'm noticing that I'm using my asymmetric chord balls usually on lighter volume, and I'm using my symmetrical chord balls on heavier volume, which that could just be because of my ball roll, the fact that I've got lower tilt. I honestly have no idea, but that also contributes to why I'm drilling the majority of my asymmetric equipment with the PSA, which is marked by the swag logo, all the way underneath my fingers. Because if you swing that PSA out closer to your VAL, that increases the flare potential of the ball. And every time I do that with an asymmetric chord ball, I find out that it just makes that ball burn up way too much and I'm unable to use it. So I usually drill my asymmetric pieces a little bit weaker, keep the PSA under the fingers. And as far as pin placement, you know, it's pretty far up above the fingers, swung out just a little bit, but as far as flare that we get out of these asymmetric balls that I throw, you know, I'd say 2.5, 3 inches, I'd say it's about that wide. So again, it allows me to get the ball down the lane, and I think that's a direct result of my tilt. My tilt has always been, you know, like sub 5 degrees. When I had my thumb on the ball 8 months ago, whatever it was, and I was bowling two-handed with my thumb in, my tilt went up to 12 degrees. but having my thumb in the ball caused a lot of other issues, so I ended up taking it back out and, you know, just working with my layouts a little bit more to try and figure out what I had to do to get the ball to shape properly, and I think I finally figured it out. So, all right, a few more shots. I think we were 37 on that last shot. Looking 18 here. Oh, I was terrible. I was sitting too long. I sat down too long talking to you guys. My legs were all tingly. Blood circulation was cut off. All right. We're going to go back to three-step drill because I need to focus in on getting low into the foul line with my knee bend, keeping my trail leg on the ground as much as I can, and making sure my spine tilt is at the proper angle here. The only way to really focus in on something like that is to reduce your approach. Kind of like that. Nope, and actually that's something I mentioned, Matt, in my practice I did yesterday, because somebody had a question about, you know, picking up 10 pins as a two-hander. I don't recommend that any two-hander out there shoots spares with a reverse ball, a backup ball. I don't recommend they try and do that for a strike. And a lot of two-handers will say, well, Anthony Simonson does it. I'm not Anthony Simonson. A lot of two-handers aren't. We don't have his body style. We don't have his physical capabilities. And there's a lot of negative aspects to trying to do a reverse hook as a two-handed bowler that can cause a lot of injuries, and that's why I advise against it. So as far as, you know, splits and things like that, all I try to do is keep my hand nice and up the back of the ball as best I can so that roll is going mostly forward. Sometimes I'll get just a little bit of reverse, but I'm not trying to reverse it. If you can get your roll mostly forward on your spare shooting, there's no reason to throw a reverse hook at any of your spares. Doesn't matter if it's a 10 pin, a 4 pin, a 7 pin, anything like that. I've shot really tough splits before just by making sure I was nice and behind the ball and standing in the right spot on the approach and looking in the right spot at the arrows for my target. You know, I've picked up things like the 4.9, the 4.10. I picked up a 4.6 before, believe it or not. I've come really close to actually picking up the Greek church several different times. Actually, I think I have one live video a while back. Actually, it wasn't a live video. I recorded the replay camera where I actually did pick up the Greek church finally, just because my roll has gotten so good of, you know, straightforward off that spare ball, not rotating at all. So that's my advice, is don't rotate your spare ball if you can help it. That helps you pick up your spare the best you can. All right, let's let my legs get the blood flow going here. Okay, back to a three-step. My right shoulder. So I don't know if you saw that on video, but I was nice and low, but when I let go of that ball, my right shoulder came right over here instead of staying back and getting through the shot like I should have. I'm going to take this glove off because this incredible hero ball has a pretty tacky cover on it, so I don't have issues hanging on to it like I do with that Joker. Much better. See, that time, right shoulder stayed back, followed the ball down, and that contributed to me being able to project the ball the proper direction. There we go. All right, full approach. See if I can replicate what I just did, because that felt really good. Still a bit of over rotation at my shoulder spot. Another full approach here. Try and correct that problem. That's better. So something to think about as a two-handed bowler, especially when it comes to your shoulders. And let's say you're struggling with this right here. This is something that helps me a ton, is when I'm going to release my ball, my left arm is what I really have to think about. Not so much thinking, keep your right shoulder back, right? It's, well, keep your left shoulder forward, especially at the release point. So you're coming into the foul line, keep the left shoulder forward, which allows, you see my shoulders here, to follow a natural progression. Because if I do this, you see what it does? If my left shoulder comes back this way too quick, it just pulls my right shoulder right around the ball. So I try to think left shoulder forward, just like that. Which is why a lot of the times you'll see when I finish, my left arm kind of goes like this and kind of ends up pointing, you know, kind of like 45 degrees in the air. It is what it is, as long as it doesn't do that and pull my right shoulder across. Shoulders are big when it comes to throwing the ball with two hands. It helps a ton. Now, in relation to the question about the spare shooting, right? So here we go. We've got a massive split, a 6-7, which honestly, that's a really, really tough split to pick up. But let's say this was a 4-10. Let's say it was a 4-10. Having a reverse hook on that ball is actually going to be more detrimental to you trying to pick up that spare than it is anything else. Because then you're bringing the lane into play. I'm going to try and get rid of that here. Give me a second. Gone, hopefully. There we go. Okay, so anyway, once you add rotation on your spare ball, whether it's reverse or regular rotation, all you're doing is putting the lane now into play. So if you can take the lane out of play, it's going to make your spare shooting potential that much better. So we're going to try that for this massive split. Now for this particular spare, you do want a touch of rotation because you want to kiss that 6-pin on the right side. So I'm going to shoot this like I would a 10-pin, add a couple boards left, and add some rotation to the spare ball and see what we get. Oh, it's going to be close. Oh no, it caught some early friction. I had a good line. I had the right amount of rotation. It just caught some early friction, and so it faced up. All right. Stay low. Keep that shoulder, left shoulder forward all throughout the release. Oh, I still tugged it down. Oh boy. Come on, body. We're better than this. That's better. See how much better that shape is? I mean, that makes everything so much cleaner. Shoulder stayed back, nice and loose at the bottom. Ball rolled off my hand. Good ball motion. Come on. That was a little forward on the release on that one. All right, guys, it's 1:45. I got to call it for the day, get my stuff packed up, get back to work, and then go to a basketball game. So tomorrow, I'm probably not going to do any live practice. Tomorrow's league night, so just going to work most of the day and then come to league, and I might try and go live for league. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, thanks for tuning in today, and I'll see you guys actually in my video I'm releasing tomorrow about planting versus sliding. Thanks for watching.